Hey, what's happening, gamers? How's everybody doing? Welcome to a special presentation of Fatal Fury, City of Wolves, or City of the Wolves. I really like this game. Sorry about the change in... I don't think venue works. Sorry the change in games, but I couldn't get Crimson Desert to work. So we're going to play Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves, brand new DLC of Bloody Mary. Or not Bloody Mary, jeez. Blue Mary! Also, kind reminder that it does take a while for streams to start. The less people here, the sooner, the later the start. About 645 views after 3 hours. Not good. So in order for any Fatal Fury coverage to continue after this point, this stream must get 1,000 views after it's archived. And I'll give you guys 24 hours to do it. So. But, yep. I'm looking forward to just doing some fighting game stuff tonight. Such a weird character to include. Did the update kill Crimson Desert? I don't know what happened. But I played Crimson Desert fine the last time. I tried to play it today. Didn't work. Then I was like, okay, maybe it needs to be updated. Installed the update. Didn't work. Then I uninstalled it, reinstalled it again. So third time. Still wouldn't work. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm not messing with that. I'll reinstall it at another time. I really wanted to play it, but, not much you can do. Yeah, huge Disney layoffs. Not surprised. If anyone is surprised by the layoffs, then, I mean, those are the kind of people that can't see the writing on the wall. Common sense is lost to them. I've been saying it for years, though. If Disney keeps chasing that fabled modern audience, eventually they won't. They're just gonna, basically... I'm gonna swear here. I don't want to swear. They're gonna tick off their core install base, which is family-friendly stuff. And that's exactly what they did. And then everybody's like, oh my gosh, all these Disney layoffs. But it's like, the writing was on the wall for years. It's like, I have no sympathy for them. It's... I don't understand why people are shocked. It's like, they're saying, oh, we can do whatever we want to these movies. And, if you don't watch it, you're an istinophobe and all this other nonsense. But when the core public says, hey... we don't want you to do this stuff. We're not going to watch it. And they continue to do it. And they're like, woe is me. It's like, that's a you issue. That's on the companies. They were told by people, if you keep including this stuff, we're not going to watch your movies. And they're like, oh, it's the toxic fans to blame. It's like, no, it's your own idiot policy. You kept going. And it's like, with Disney, you know how... you try to warn somebody that's driving into a brick wall, you can see the brick wall ahead of them, and rather than slow down, which would be normal, right? Maybe do some course correct, maybe stop race swapping, maybe stop the propaganda, slow down a little bit, make some movies for your core audience, and then make the weird stuff too, whatever. But no, Disney's like, screw you, and they hit the gas, and they ram straight into the wall and basically kill themselves. And then they're like, looking around like a child, what happened? And it's like, are you being for real right now? I'm not seeing Mary, is she? Okay, there she is. That's what I don't... That's why I absolutely hate woke people, is... they lack common sense, they lack morality, they lack intelligence. And when something is staring them right in the face, it's like the best explanation I could give you is Jean-Luc Picard and the Romulans. The Romulans are torturing Jean-Luc Picard, and they're telling him, we'll let you go if you say you see 5 lights. But because of his integrity, because of his absolute truth, he cannot lie and say, even under torture, there are 5 lights when there are 4. So even though the Romulans are seriously messing him up, he still says, I see 4 lights. We've been telling Disney for years, we see 4 lights. Stop it. And Disney's like, we're going to keep doing it. So, they have only themselves to blame. No sympathy from me. I'm tired of being one of those fans that says, you're doing it wrong. You need to change before it's too late. We want you to succeed. You're doing it wrong. Stop it. What do? They keep going. So, what are you supposed to do? There's nothing you can do. All you have to do is let them slam into the brick wall at full speed and pick up the pieces. And if there's any survivors, help the survivors. They're not going to learn. Here's another example of how stupid Disney is. Disney is like a little kid that you tell them, don't touch the stove is hot. Disney then touches the stove and cries. And says, ow, I got burned bad. It's because you touched the stove. We said don't do it. But yes, the fans are to blame. You know, and all these people on Twitter are like, they're such idiots. They're like, oh my gosh, how do I explain this? People on Twitter are like, yeah, you want to know what the problem is? Corporate policies. I'm like ripping out my hair here. Corporate policy? What are you talking about? Corporate greed? That's the problem? Not the content? Not the content you were ramming down our throats for 6, 7 years? That's not the problem? Okay. There are 4 lights! 4 lights! Not 5! 4!
Since the fall of Geese Howard, the city of Southtown has never been the same. Its people have grown complacent, and once fearsome warriors roam the streets like stray dogs. And though his legacy remains here in my keeping, it does so with no heir apparent. If there are any left in Southtown with fangs that bite, with claws that tear, with the ruthlessness and undying spirit of a true warrior, come to King of Fighters. Who will inherit the legacy of the fallen emperor? Let the last wolves of this city determine that for themselves. Stroheim. Blue Mary, special agent and seasoned grappler. For many years, the poor girl's life had become an endless cycle of work, cocktails, and work again, with more and fancier cocktails on the horizon. It was as if time had suddenly stopped after the tragic loss of 2 of her closest companions, her father and her former partner. That is, until an unexpected request arrived from SWAT officer and distant relation, Kevin Ryan. He wanted her help in securing Geese's legacy, the grand prize in the upcoming King of Fighters tournament. Eager to break the cycle, and secretly hoping for a chance reunion with Terry Bogard, she accepts. A new dawn, a new KOF. Blue Mary can hardly wait.
Oh, I can keep giving analogies like it's no end, but it's like you can't help people that don't learn.
And so you stand before the beast. I hope you've made peace with yourself.
Round 1. Get ready. Fight.
Yeah, the Marvel, but the Marvel and Disney layoffs is their own fault though. And you know, people I love the activists. They're like, oh my gosh, how do I explain this? they're like, you have to understand it's all corporate greed. It's like, what corporate greed? They've been pumping out sequels for years. they only changed the content like 7 years ago, and now they're like circling bankruptcy. It's like, and you don't think there's a correlation between changing the content, pushing for certain things that the general public didn't want? You really think that that's okay? Dang, I'm getting waxed here. Alright, this will be a long night. Oops. Oh, dang. I might have to go down a star difficulty. Or I could just get good. I think the most hilarious thing about the Marvel and DC, or Marvel and it will happen to DC too. DC won't change. The hilarious thing about the Disney and the Marvel thing is all these people are so wrapped up in their little world that they're blaming the fans for the layoffs, and they're blaming corporate greed, and they can't put on the brakes. They can't think for themselves and be like, logically, them doing a shift to go after the modern audience is the reason, but they can't admit it. Even when the truth is screaming in their face, they still choose to be ignorant and ignore it. And I'm like, I don't understand. You know the reason. You see the reason. You see the end result. And yet you still pretend it's not the problem. How do you help people like this? You know, I'm honestly trying to figure this out. How? How do you help stupid people see the light? How? And the thing is, they pretend to be intelligent. They pretend to be like, oh, the problem is corporate greed. It's not the DEI. No. Even though, like, most of the population doesn't like that stuff. No, that's not the problem. That's not why theater seats are empty. It's not like we've been beating a dead horse and people are just sick of it. No, it's the fans' fault for not watching what we're putting out. It's like, really? It's like, at this point, Disney, just go out of business. Like, you don't deserve to be around anymore. There's no, they're too far gone. It's not even like legit ignorance. They just they honestly don't know. Like, you could set them on fire and tell them, if you stop, drop, and roll, the fire will go out. You want to know what they're going to do? They're going to run around on fire and be like, help, I'm on fire! Stop, drop, and roll! Stop, drop, and roll! Why am I on fire? And then they die. That's woke people. Common sense versus woke. Woke people are the ones running on fire, dying, and you tell them, just stop, drop, and roll. The fire will go out. How do I put out the fire?
I'm here to fight. No more hesitation. Let's go. Hope you're ready for this.
Round one. Get ready. Fight.
Oh, dang. I actually like the girl I'm fighting. That's why I used one of my favorite memes or GIFs to use is the George of the Jungle thing, because the George of the Jungle thing is like the most accurate thing to deal with like idiocy. When something bad happens, you know, and you knew it was gonna happen, you put the GIF with George of the Jungle where the three guides are like, now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready? Ready! And they just laugh because it's so ironic. It's funny. And yeah, if Disney goes out of business, boo-hoo, oh well, you know? It's like they've been blaming everything but their own faults, and they never will. And the sad thing is, even with all these massive layoffs, they're going to continue to screw up. They're even talking about bringing She-Hulk back. I'm like, wait. You're pushing for She-Hulk, which was a ratings disaster. It lost subscribers on your Disney Plus thing. It aggravated She-Hulk fans, lifelong She-Hulk fans. It hurt the MCU. And you think it would be a good thing to bring it back for a second season? Oh, I just don't understand. It's like, how are people born this stupid? Like, I don't... Someone needs to explain this to me. How are people born this dumb? In life, let me teach you the secret of life, okay? When something doesn't work, and you've been trying over and over and over again with the same formula, and it doesn't work anymore, change the formula so it works. People say, we don't like DEI. We don't like woke propaganda. What do? You would probably, logically, stop doing what your core audience doesn't want to watch, and give them what they do want to watch. Simple, right? The bad idea is, here's an illustration of what Disney does. You guys know what a steam train is, right? Like a locomotive that uses coal, and you shovel coal into the engine, and the engine goes faster. You have the people on the steam train telling the conductor, stop putting in coal. We need to slow down. There's a problem ahead. There's like, the bridge is out. Stop shoveling coal. This isn't working. We need to slow down. What does the conductor do? More coal? Shovel, 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 shovel. Train goes off the cliff. Everyone dies. That's Disney. Does anybody actually know what... You know what a steam locomotive is, right? Like the coal and whatever. My analogies are very dated, but they work. So me, as like not a huge Disney fan anymore, I was a Disney fan when I was a kid. When I was a kid, super Disney fan, 80s, 90s, early 2000s, even when I was in college. Loved Disney. I wouldn't say I'm an anti-Disney fan, but I don't really like them as much as I used to. I like the classic Disney. Don't get me wrong, like 50s through the 2000s. Muy bien, good Disney. Like it. Disney Afternoon, original DuckTales, Darkwing Duck, Goof Troop, Tailspin, whatever. Chef's Kiss, perfect. New Disney stuff, hate it. Don't watch it. Don't really talk about it. People ask me all the time, have you seen this Disney show? Nope, I didn't watch it. Why? It looks stupid. They're like, really? It's like, yeah, why would I watch it? But I grew up like, I wouldn't say a Disney nerd, but I was a Disney consumer. I bought everything Disney. I even bought the Disney video games as a kid. How did I become, like, against Disney? It's because Disney alienated and annoyed me to the point, as a customer, where I have happily not spent any money on Disney, except for the Disney Afternoon video game. That's it. I've done some Marvel stuff, but I don't even watch the MCU very much because I know that the stuff that they include in the MCU is going to piss me off. So I don't watch it. I have a blood pressure to watch, right? Ah! So, in order to regulate my blood pressure and not get angry very much, I don't consume media that would make me purposely angry. I don't watch the news, and I don't watch stuff that has things in it I don't want to see. And I'm sure not going to go to the movies to watch something I don't like. Movie theaters are expensive. I'm going to spend time, like, doing something that I want to do and spend my money on something that I enjoy. That's common sense, right? Should be. Ow, 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 ow. Ow. Did I get her? I got her. Yatta! Yeah, I did. I mean, because when I was a kid, Star Wars was separate than Disney.
That's it? I was hoping we could go.
Completely different thing. Right? Like, I don't even know how to explain this to you guys, but Star Wars was a completely different entity than Disney. Disney and Star Wars were separate. Some of you were actually born when Disney and Star Wars were a thing. Like, when they were merged together. But I grew up with them separate, and they were both amazing separate. When they got together, they got worse. But I guess, like, as somebody who grew up liking Walt Disney and all the stuff that Disney represented, it hurts to see them in this shape, and it hurts for me to see the executives still completely, like, lost.
Fasten your seatbelt. You're about to experience the ultimate Shokugen karate.
Like, because, I mean, here's why I like anime, okay? In most manga and anime, they do not include stuff that is for Western or global audiences because they know that if they mess with a mainstream product, they're going to lose money in readers. And they don't do it. Majority of anime, just so you know, is targeted towards straight people. Right? Manga understands that. They also cater a lot to female audiences and make a lot of romance stuff, as opposed to fantasy, action, blood, gore, all that kind of stuff, right? They have like a girl audience and a boy audience. And Japan caters to that. Now, they have specialty things, and occasionally they release something for that specialty genre to cater to that demographic. But they don't, like, release an anime where one anime has a person in a wheelchair as the best friend of the protagonist, and then there was the person of color next door who is their childhood friend or whatever. Where you have the person who dresses like a guy when they're a girl or whatever. They don't do that kind of stuff because they don't want to take the risk because they know that it's going to impact their business. So majority of rom-coms that you see, and even the ones that are out right now, there are a lot of rom-coms right now. A majority, I would say 89% of all rom-coms right now that are on Crunchyroll and Netflix, they are targeting straight people.
Going up against the teller of Kyokugen karate adds a lot of pressure.
The only relationships
Plain old standard.
in that anime, except for two, all the characters revolving around the main character are going after the opposite sex. If they included something else in there, it would kill their show, and they know that. So what they do is they're like, okay, we're going to release a show that is specific for that demographic, and that's what it's going to circle around, right? No problems. If you watch that show about two guys, it's only about two guys. There are no characters other than those characters that are in a romantic plot. That's the whole purpose of that show. What Americans, or not Americans, what activists want is they want to take a rom-com that's geared towards straight people, and they want to throw everyone and the kitchen sink into that show to basically appease no one watching it. And Japan's like, we're not doing that. America's the opposite. America will throw in everybody and do a checklist to make sure it doesn't care about the story. Representation matters, whereas in Japan, story matters. And right now, Japanese people are getting very ticked at Americans for headcanons because several... This is actually a funny thing to talk about. I'm going to have to pause, though, because I can't talk and play because I suck at this game. even though Mary's a grappler, I suck at this game. I'm not ashamed to admit it. But, okay. So, I'm not going to tell you what BL is. You can guess. There's a BL anime that's out right now about two guys. The creator specifically made it to cater to activists, right? And they thought they were doing everything correct. This is a funny story, okay? There is a punchline to this that proves that woke people are crazy, but I'll get to that. So, this person went out of their way to westernize their manga, and they thought that those people would be happy. What did the woke people do to the boys love author on Twitter? Did they say thank you? Did they say thank you for being inclusive? Thank you for the representation? No! You want to know what they did to the author? They drove her off social media by harassing her for not doing more. Huh? Did you know that? She did everything they wanted, and they ran her out on a rail. Do you see how for normal people this is like popcorn eating? Like, you cater to these freaks, you do exactly what they want, and they're still not happy. This poor woman thought that if she made a manga to capture the modern audience, that the modern audience would love her work and buy it. First of all, they weren't buying the manga. Second of all, as soon as the anime aired, they were nitpicking everything and demanding more. Not enough. If you've, that demographic is not full-blown what Western people want to see, which they want to see skinship and they want to see PDA. That's not what happens in even most straight rom-coms. There's no PDA, there's no makeout sessions, there's no sex. Not usually. Occasionally, after 12 episodes, someone might confess and get into a relationship, but it's a will they, won't they thing. Most rom-com is about the anticipation of the couple getting together. Okay? So, these Western idiots, when they got exactly what they wanted was nasty stuff. And this poor woman who catered to them, which hopefully she learned her lesson, never, ever cater to the tourists. Ever. Because one, they'll never be happy, and two, it's not good enough. It's like that old saying, if you give a mouse some cheese, they want the whole loaf of cheese. Right? So, I feel bad for this poor woman, but she played herself. Whereas most people aren't going after authors of rom-coms and yelling and screaming at them, you know, for the outcome of the show or how the show is going. We say thank you or what's going to happen next week. There are people, like right now, the biggest rom-coms in the world, and I know this because I'm a, you know, hopeless romantic. Married 20 years, by the way, so I have a leg to stand on. Thank you very much. The biggest rom-coms in the world right now that people are eating up so well is New Game Plus, High School Life New Game Plus. The Second Prettiest Girl in School. Like, The Second Prettiest Girl in My Class is a very popular rom-com. The Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten Season 2. People are eating that up and loving it. The klutzy dude and the girl with the skirt is another popular rom-com that people are loving. By the way, all these rom-coms that I'm naming, these are all straight. Like every single one. There is a Ice Queen or something. What was the name of that one? The one on Netflix is doing moderately well. Something about ice. Something. What is it? Where's my phone? I can't remember the name. It's something about ice. Rampart or something of ice. I think Ramparts of Ice is doing moderately well. I think that's the name of it. There's a new rom-com that just came out today that is doing really well. I haven't seen it yet, but it released today. It's a brand new rom-com. It's like everybody is like, whoa, they changed the game with this rom-com. But nobody is going to the authors as straight people and yelling at the author for making the manga or making the anime or harassing them. It's only one particular group that does this. it's all woke activists. Every single time. Whether it's the MCU, whether it's Disney, whether it's anime. It's never good enough. And the funny thing is, they don't even watch it. So the ratings for those shows aren't even very good compared to the shows that I just listed. And they have a right to exist, mind you. They do have a right to exist. But the people that those shows are made for are not even supporting it. Instead, they're piling together to harass an individual who made it. And now it's empowering. What they've done, they've empowered Japanese creators to now fully reject Western appeal. They don't care anymore. What happened to this poor woman, right, has actually gotten the dude from Bleach, who is not a nice guy. The creator of Bleach is blunt as hell. Excuse me. But he's so cool. He's basically like leading the charge, and all these creators that respect him because he's a senpai of so many other like anime creators today, they're going behind his flag where he's basically giving people the finger and saying that these headcanon things, we don't care about that. If you don't like our stuff, you don't have to watch it. We are the creators, you are the viewers. That's your role. He literally told people, your role is just to watch, not create. If you want to be in our shoes, then you have to become a creator because your opinion doesn't matter to us. And all the Japanese people, I follow Japanese Twitter, they are rallying behind the Bleach creator, and so many even new anime manga people, like new artists responsible for some of your favorite anime, they are following his example now. So these people, by like running this poor woman off of social media who did exactly what they wanted, they've just they've literally blown off their foot with a shotgun, because now Japan is going to hate woke people even more. Okay? So let this be a lesson to people. If by miracle you get a show made that fits your particular interests, do not harass the creator of said material, because it's not going to go the way you want. It's going to go the opposite. Didn't we win the war? We won the war for gaming, but we've never won the war for comic books. Have you read comic books lately? We won decisive battles in gaming. And you'll see over the next, like, 3 years, more and more games. Actually, yeah, we did win. You tell me, before we continue the gameplay, you tell me right now, out of all the new games coming out, how many new games, now and next year and the year after that they've shown footage for, how many feature ugly female designs? Name one game in the next 2 years that purposely made ugly female designs. Most games that I've seen, and PlayStation events, and Nintendo Directs, and indie games coming out, women look attractive again. And they can't say anything about it. I've seen indie games. Let me tell you the difference, okay? Indie games that were in development the past 7 years in the past, like starting 2019, if a woman had cleavage, they removed it. If a woman was wearing a costume that was too scandalous for even an indie game, they censored it. Okay? I have an indie developer who's following me and wants me to look at their game next year, and the female character has bounced to her step. I'm not going to go into more detail than that, but she's wearing a skin-tight outfit, and when she walks, there's jiggle on a sprite. The fact that they're making games like this again, yes, we won major battles against the game activists. Also, 7,000 game activists were fired between 2024 and 2025. And 1,000 were fired this year in 2026. So, yeah, we definitely got a lot of ground. But the war is not fully over until, it's completely won. we're winning a lot of wars, but we haven't won like the decisive, like final, like crushing the serpent type of thing. Like the snake of the is still alive. The head is wounded, but it's not dead. Will we ever fully defeat it? No, I don't think so. But I don't think we need to. I think that they just need to come to a realization that, yes, their games matter and they can make their games, but their games and their ideas do not belong in mainstream, and they certainly don't belong in a globalized setting. It doesn't work. But with anime, they're trying to get... They were trying to do the same thing they did in 2018. They're trying. They're trying really hard, and it is backfiring immensely, because once Japanese Twitter could see what's happening in America, and, you know, they're shocked. Because they heard stories of, like, how crazy it is here, but they didn't believe it. They're like, no, that's not true. It doesn't work that way. They're seeing it with their own eyes. Everything that happened to this poor, like, lady creator who made that BL manga and anime, they saw what happened, and now they're being labeled by the activists as being right-wing when they're all Japanese people that just have common sense. They're not necessarily right or left, but they are against wokeism. They hate it. They call it political correctness. They hate political correctness now. They didn't used to care. They're like, okay, it's not a problem. Political correct. Okay. It's just a marketing thing. Now they're like, oh, wait a second. No, this is bad. We don't like this. We're not just going to do something just to do it. There has to be a reason why the character is the way they are. So, I mean, they might have thought that they were gaining ground in anime, but they lost... How do I explain it? They were climbing a mountain, like the wokeism. The mountain blew up. So, I don't know how they're going to climb up the mountain when, like, a good chunk of the mountain was just blown up with TNT. You know? I think that they're going to have a hard time toppling anime now. And they weren't really making up as much ground as you think they were. Because I'll tell you what they want, okay? If you have a rom-com, and they were talking about this 2 years ago, and I'll get back to the gameplay, don't worry. If you're making a rom-com, this is what they want. If you have 2 straight characters, you need to have 2 gay characters in the show. You need to have somebody who has missing a limb or they're whatever. If you don't do that, they're not going to be happy because you're not progressive enough. Your best friend, even though you're straight and you're the protagonist and you're going after a straight girl, your best friend needs to be gay. That's their demand. Even though in the manga and the anime or whatever, that's not what it is. You know, that's not the norm. They don't care. That's what they want. So until you give them what they want, they're going to keep harassing you. That's their go-to plan. When in reality, Japan is already like, okay, you want 2 guys and a romance? We've got a genre for you. It's called BL. There you go. They're like, no, not good enough. We need BL in our straight thing. They need to be combined. And Japan's like, no, that won't sell. We're not doing that. And they're like, well, then you've made an enemy of us. And Japan's like, who are you? So, you know, that's... They're facing stiff opposition for once, and it's hilarious. And now, like, whatever ground they had, they just, like I said, they just blew it up under their feet. Because Japan is horrified by, you know, they don't understand. Like, Japanese people are very polite, right? And they're even, like, I follow so many Japanese people on Twitter, and they're talking about it, like, every day now. They're like, wait a second, our creators gave them what they wanted with their show, and their show had a great, like, first or 2 episodes, exactly what they wanted, and they repay our kindness with harassing the woman who made it, and, like, you know, basically making her, like, go off social media and, like, question everything that she's ever created. They don't see that as a good thing. Whereas I've read the Blue Sky Twitter or whatever. The Blue Sky people think that now she's going to come back and apologize to them for being harassed. She's going to come back and apologize and be like, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that I was so out of touch. I will make efforts to make it more blah, blah, blah. Like, they're so delusional, they don't understand that everything is turning against them. Right? Thank you very much for the super chat. I really appreciate that. Anyway, like I said, I couldn't talk about this in play, so... But that's the... You know, Japanese people are just based because they're based in common sense. When something doesn't work, you don't keep trying to force it in. There has to be a natural progression of things, and Japan has tried to do the thing that America's doing now where they force everything. There was actually a time where Japanese people, like creators, were trying to include other characters, and the audience, which is primarily Japanese, didn't like it. So, of course, they're not going to include it in mainstream stuff because they know it's going to hurt their bottom line. Japan is all about making money. They're not about making friends. We are a big consumer of Japanese products because they make a good product. When they don't make a good product, we don't buy it. Common sense.
Not quite.
Sorry, guys. My explanation took a long time. I'm trying to convert people to the Church of Common Sense. I'm trying to save as many lost souls as I can, so people will wake up from their delusional reality and just realize, okay, maybe we're going too far here. Maybe we're pushing too much. Maybe it's a bad idea to harass people until we get our way. Because, you know, harassing people until you get your way, do you want to know what kind of humans harass people to get their way? Every human at one point in time harasses to get their way. Do you want to know what age they are when they do that? They're toddlers. Why do you think they call it the terrible twos? Because toddlers will do everything they can to harass and gaslight to get their way. So you're telling me that woke people are good because they throw tantrums like 2-year-olds? They're on the right side of history? Bullshit! Sorry. They're just a bunch of, like, whiny 2-year-olds throwing tantrums. And a lot of the world sees them as just that.
You knew getting Rock involved in this was going to be dangerous. How could you ever risk hurting him? Hurting your own sister's son?
Excuse me. Sorry for the swearing. Sometimes I can't help but just like let a, because I mean it's just so ridiculous, you know.
I see it in your eyes that you're looking for a fight, aren't you? I'm in the middle of something else, but hey, I can make some time.
Was it really a rant, or was it more like an educational thing? It was more like storytelling about explaining what was going on. It's not really a rant. I'm trying to educate people. Maybe it'd be an educational rant. I don't know. Ow. I think for me, the reason why I get involved so much, like with, you know, the battle between light and darkness, because let's face it, woke people are the darkness. Like, they're evil. Majority. They do evil tactics, they have evil hearts, they have evil ideologies. They're the bad guys. But they think, it's like Cobra has been telling the world for years that G.I. Joe is the villain, and they have people, like, making Cobra movies, like Cobra propaganda. And G.I. Joe is here, like, dumbfounded, like, wait a second, how did we lose the people's, like, minds? Like, why are they following Cobra? And now, the rest of the world is listening to the Joes again, like, wait a second, Cobra is bad. We're sorry, G.I. Joe. We'll never get an apology for the last 7 years either. Like, and you want to know what the good guys are going to do? Just going to take the hits, and we're just going to keep on going. And be like, oh, yeah, Cobra had the world brainwashed for like 7 years, but we're still going to, you know, protect people. We're still going to tell people Cobra's bad. We're still going to do the heroic stuff, even though we got people throwing salads and stuff at us and calling us all kinds of weird names. We're still going to be the good guys, even though the world thinks we're the villains. Because that's what you do. Yo, Joe. Right? Time to get tough. Yo, Joe. That's what it is. Like, so think, like, for the past 7 years, imagine Cobra telling everybody that G.I. Joe is bad, and some people believe it to the point where they join Cobra. And then, you know, over time, because common sense will always prevail, decency and goodness and righteousness and morality will always triumph over, like, all the nonsense. Because common sense has been around for thousands and thousands of years. It's built into our DNA. It's a gift from the Holy Spirit, for crying out loud.
Let's do this again.
We've been given, like, the ability, most of us, the ability to discern right from wrong. And even though we're like, wrong is cool, as you get older, you realize, wait a second, a lot of that stuff I did as a kid, that was stupid. Why did I ever do that? That's discernment. So the reason why the tides are changing for some people is because these people that were acting a certain way, they're growing up. And what they don't tell you is some of the biggest people in their movement have actually left the movement and joined the side of common sense. But they don't like to broadcast it. They want you to think, oh, this person who was, like, really into doing all this stuff, like, they're still with us. No, they're not. They grew up. They stopped. They realized, wait a second, this isn't working. What was so bad about the stuff we were fighting? And then they learn, and they figure out, wait a second, common sense actually is not a bad thing. It's the right thing. It's the only thing. And they change, and they grow, and they get better, and they get smarter. But the thing is, those people, the activists, are still doing the same tactics that don't work.
Hey, Mary. Wow. Haven't seen that jacket in forever.
Oh, you noticed? I'm flattered. I like to wear it when I'm extra serious about winning.
I get it. It must mean a lot to you.
Yeah, I'm trying to work some stuff out. Actually, I was hoping to run something by you. When the match is over, that is.
Not often you ask my opinion. All right. You got something to say? I'm all ears.
Great. Thanks. After the match, all right?
So anyway, the big prize for this tournament. This look familiar to you?
No way. Are these really the gene scrolls? I thought... weren't they all destroyed?
Yeah. I heard Geese had gotten his hands on something big and... well, I guess he really did. Just as a heads up, Rock is my priority right now. So I can't go easy on you.
Sorry, Terry. You know investigating those scrolls falls under my jurisdiction. Once I've picked up the scent, I have an obligation to follow it.
Thought so. Suppose that means we've got a fight on our hands.
Right. Whoever wins, no hard feelings on either side, okay?
Round 1. Get ready. Fight SPG.
Isn't she Terry's girlfriend? I thought Mary was Terry's girlfriend.
Get ready. Fight. SPG.
Yeah, Blue Mary's a cop. She's one of the coolest cops in video games, too, next to Leon. Well, Leon's an ex-cop. I missed. Ow.
I'll keep the sacred scrolls. Can't risk handing them over to anyone. Even you.
Yeah, she was wearing a jacket just like Terry. Yeah, I never understood why Baby It's Cold Outside would be a toxic song. It's a great song that Nat King Cole sang. And I didn't understand why they were attacking it. It's like they're two consenting adults that are, you know, in the 1950s talking about... You do realize that majority of songs... How do I put this delicately if people don't know? Most songs that make it popular are all about doing the nasty. And Baby It's Cold Outside is a song that is subtly implying that the two are going to get busy. And every generation, the lyrics get a little bit less subtle. In the 80s, there was a lot of inside jokes, but majority of the songs were all about bow chicka bow bow. And what's crazy is when you see these kids singing a song from the 80s thinking it's all sweet and innocent, and you realize what it means that, you know, this like 7-year-old is singing, you know, it's like, because, I mean, nowadays we just come out and we say it like there's like the subtlety of a jackhammer, right? Every generation, whether it was the 50s, the 60s, even the 40s, like some of the stuff they talked about, it's all about that. It's just, it was very subtle that you would have to be like, you know, it's kind of like an inside joke, like, oh, okay, I know what they're talking about. I know why they want to be inside together, you know. It sounds wholesome, but it's really not. It was like an in for that generation listening to it. Every generation gets worse and worse in terms of, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Crudeness. Yeah. Like, for the 40s, 1940s, people in the 60s were, like, heathens. Like, they were, like, not only just godless heathens, but also they were perverted maniacs. And for people in the 60s, the people in the, like, 90s looked like they were extreme, and, you know, women's skirts were, like, too short and stuff like that. Like, you know.
I heard they were all destroyed. Guess I must have heard wrong.
Yeah. Something doesn't seem right. We need to get rid of them somehow.
Rock, are you okay? What the hell? Rock, come on, it's us!
Terry, you're still recovering from the fight. Leave this to me.
Fine. Help him out for me.
I got this. Rock, you've gone too far. Now you're just begging me to shut you up.
Thanks for the super chat. I'll get to it, Daffy.
Round 1. Get ready. Fight. SPG.
Get ready. The foul warmth of humanity.
Oh, I might... Yeah, I'm probably going to get my butt kicked with this. We'll try. I know Mary is primarily a grappler, but I'm not good with grapple characters. So I use some of Mary's other moves that work to my advantage, sort of, kind of. That did not work to my advantage. When in doubt, sweep the legs. Ow, 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 ow. Yeah, I'm in trouble. Derp! Well, I mean, I grew up playing fighting games, so I mean, I don't give up that easily, though. Daffy, thanks for the super chat. I've been playing fighting games since like 1990. I know they're hard. That's why you keep going till you win. Fighting games is all about perseverance, endurance, using your heat, using the cold to heat your anger, as Chuck Norris Karate Commando says. You lose until you win. Fighting games is supposed to be a humbling experiment.
The future promises nothing either. Don't let your emotions hold sway over you.
Yeah, Hotel California is not about a hotel, and yet, Granddaddy, do you remember the commercials with that one hotel using the Hotel California song, like to welcome families and stuff to to go on vacation? I can't remember the chain, but I swear it happened. In the 2000s, someone was using Hotel California as a anthem for their hotel for families to go and visit or to plan vacations or something like that. They were playing that song. And if you don't know, Hotel California is about a woman in Hotel California. If you didn't know that, the reason why he's singing about that so passionately is because he's talking about a woman. And so when this hotel chain was using that song to try to entice families to come to the hotel, when essentially they're talking about a very loose woman, like, people who know, they know the joke, but everyone else, it's like, oh, this is such a wholesome song about hotels. Sure it is. Yeah, I guess you could say it is. Yeah. Hey, I didn't say the lyrics to Hotel California. Welcome to the Hotel California. It's such a lovely place. Such a lovely place. Nah, why? If I was playing Terry, I could beat you. Probably. Ah! I was doing so well, and then I remembered I'm fighting basically geese, and then everything fell apart. Crud. Oh! No!
It's pointless to hold on to the past. The future promises nothing either. Don't let your emotions...
I mean, it's not restarting... Yeah, restarting multiple times till you win. You just don't give up. You keep going till you win. Besides, I haven't even been fighting this guy for 45 minutes. My cutoff is 40... Like, the rage starts after 45 minutes. If I beat the guy before 45 minutes, I'm as cool... Yeah. I'm as cool as a cucumber, as the old saying goes. Meh.
Just a scratch.
Oh, he did a tractor beam thing? I forgot he could do that. My problem is the combo chains that he does is just nasty. Yeah, there's nothing I could do. Oh. Oh, that would have been such a clutch if I could have pulled it off. Oh, he blocked. Alright. Yeah! I forgot how to grapple, actually. Anybody remember how to do the throws? It's been a while. Not, never mind, I got it. When in doubt, press 2 buttons together to throw people. Boom! Yeah, I said he was new Geese. I said he's basically Geese, because he is Geese. He's possessed now. Hey, that's cool. You want to block? I'll just throw you. Counter! Ow, ow. There's that long combo chain. Nasty. Oh, he dodged. Dodge this. I know, I'm being cheap, but so is he. Oh, he's learning. I'm gonna lose this one, though. Probably. Whoa! 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 Woo!
Don't give into it. Forget the sacred scrolls. Forget Geese. You're your own person, Rock. Snap out of it.
See? That's why you don't give up. This is why you don't give up, right? There's a lesson here. There's a life lesson staring you to the face. In life, there is always an opening. You just have to look for it. In this case, it was right in his face. Jump kick. Yeah! Alright, enjoy the ending.
I never knew there was a pocket here.
Hey, I guess you're wearing the jacket I gave you today. I snuck this letter into the pocket when you got up. I wonder how long it'll take you to notice it. Meeting you 6 months ago was one of the best things that ever happened to me. Do you remember the drink I mixed for you? You said it was too sweet for your taste, but if I remember correctly, that didn't stop you from drinking it. Or any of the other ones. Tomorrow's the big day. I'm finally about to start my dream job as a member of the President's security detail. It's just the first step on this new path, but it's still a biggie. I won't lie. I'm insanely nervous. But you know me. Nerves or not, I always do what needs to be done. Your dad has been so good to me through everything. I'm incredibly grateful. I'll be away for a while. I can't say when I'll be back exactly, but when I am, let's hit that bar up again, okay? All my love. Butch.
He really was a great guy, huh?
Hey, you can't just spy on people.
Sorry. I said your name a couple times, but you didn't say anything. My bad. I should have known better.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, he was the best. So, what happened to Rock? Is he feeling better?
Yeah. He should be resting up in the infirmary right now. Looks like those gene scrolls really did a number on the poor kid.
Alright, well, I have to write up a report, so fill me in on the finer details later, will you?
Got it. Hey, thanks by the way. You've really come through during all this.
So Terry, you know, there's this bar I hit up from time to time. Here to go with me?
That the one you mentioned earlier?
Yeah, that's the one. They can make any kind of cocktail you can imagine. I just thought it might be nice to try one that you come up with.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, sounds like it could be pretty fun. But,
You can't?
it's not that. It's just... How should I put this? I'm thinking we could have a lot more fun if you and I come up with a drink of our own. Together. Let me know when you want to get going. But before that... Everyone knows you can't ride a motorcycle in a torn-up jacket. It ain't safe, and it gets real cold. Go ahead, try this on.
But isn't this your only jacket? Are you sure?
Sure, I'm sure. I've got another one lying around somewhere, I think.
Really? Well, thanks. It's super cozy.
Glad to hear it. I'm looking forward to that drink, Mary.
Wait, I thought they are a couple. They're not really acting like a couple. They're acting like a, oh, we like each other, but like a slow burn anime. No, like I said, I can't. After about 45 minutes of like failing over and over again, I do quit. So I mean, rage quit happens after about 45 minutes, which older fans used to time me for certain games. But I haven't rage quit that many games. I've beaten more games than I've rage quitted. So I have a pretty good, it's like a batting average. Like my batting average is pretty good. But yeah, there are some games that I've rage quitted. I think every gamer has at least 1 or 2 or maybe 10 that they've quit and never gone back to. No, I specifically remember Blue Mary and Terry being boyfriend and girlfriend in a previous like King of Fighters game. It wasn't like hinted at that they had a mutual attraction to one another. They were actually dating. I can't tell you what King of Fighters game that was. That was a long time ago. It was in the 90s, I know that. See, I'm gonna read. This is from Japanese Twitter, guys. I like this song. We're gonna have this in the background so you can hear me. Okay. So we have Japanese Twitter from the author. I want the losing heroine to win. She says she's tired of overseas fans demanding ships and changes to the plot that were not intended by the author. And she doesn't appreciate any of this headcanon nonsense. So, what you're witnessing, ladies and gentlemen, is a domino effect. And I don't... The only thing that's wrong about this is these people, like some of these Japanese artists and authors, they label... This is why I don't like woke people, is we get thrown under the bus with the troublemakers. Even though... You know, it's the activists that are the problem. This author is blaming all overseas fans. So because of the actions of a few people or a group of people, Japanese people are seeing Americans as overseas fans. Some Japanese creators. Some ones are actually speaking out against political correctness and like activists and stuff like that. But the problem is the antics that these people are doing is putting us all in a very bad light. But as I told you, more and more of these Japanese authors are speaking out because, I mean, they don't get this treatment in their own country. Like, the people in Japan, you know, treat their works with respect, and they're very nice to them when they meet and things like that, you know, the meet and greets. And not the overseas crowd, but you know who. You know who's are the ones causing problems. Yeah, here she's got them pegged. Here's more of the translation. I am thrilled to have overseas fans, but of how loud they are, despite reading for free, I'd really appreciate if they would drop some cash on my works first before they criticize. So here's another thing that you probably don't know about woke people. They don't pay for anything. So this lady author is calling them out like this is a direct hit. This is exactly what they do. They don't buy anything. Despite reading everything for free and getting it for free, you know, this lady is like, hey, if you're going to say stuff about my stuff and you don't like who I pair with who, and you're not the real writer or whatever, drop some money first and then maybe I'll listen to you. But, I mean, she'll listen to your opinion, but she's not going to change, you know, what she does with her books. This one person like responded to her. They're like, I don't understand. How does she know that people who are criticizing it didn't pay? It's not available legally in America. Why is she bringing up piracy or for no reason? And this person, they have no idea that, you know, a certain group of people don't actually pay for the things that they complain about. They just don't do it. And the reason why these people lost gaming is because they didn't buy the games.
Fatal Fury. City of the Wolves.
Sorry, I just, it's not doom scrolling, but I read a lot of Japanese Twitter now because we can see them. Like before we couldn't see Japanese Twitter. Did you know that? Like if you didn't speak Japanese, you wouldn't be receiving Japanese tweets. But now we actually see what's going on in Japanese Twitter because of like a new language app, I believe, is what it was. Okay, I don't want to do arcade again. I guess we can do. Street Fighter map is now available. Interesting. Oh wow, I haven't done one of these in a long time. Last time I did this was with Terry. Ha! Does Blue Mary have another costume? How do you change costumes again?
Let's get to work.
No, I don't want to change the difficulty. I wanted to see... Oh, you have to... It's not really a costume change, though. It's not... Oh, it's fine. I don't care. What is it, buddy? Link, what are you doing? Why are you pawing my head? What? What are you doing? You're the only cat here now, buddy. What's going on? What are you doing? Link is sitting in my lap. He's never done that. Does Link notice that Zelda isn't here anymore? He said goodbye to her. Amber told me the story. So this morning, when Zelda came out of her room and Amber was trying to get her to eat, Link came up and he licked her face. And Zelda responded a little bit and tried to meow, but she was too weak. She probably told Link to take care of us or something. I don't know. He got to say goodbye, though. He saw her. He saw her in the morning, and he licked her face. And then he went off and basically slept at the front of my door. And then when Amber called and told me that Zelda died, Link was meowing. When Amber told me that Zelda died, this was freaky, okay? I'm sitting in bed, I'm getting up to, get ready to do some boxes, and I'm on the phone with Amber, and Amber's in tears because she's at the vet. And she says Zelda's gone. And then Link starts howling. Like, Linky doesn't meow very much. Link starts meowing a lot, and then he starts, like, clawing the door. Like, he paws the door. And then, when I opened the door, he was headbutting me. And I went in the office and I started packing boxes, and he jumped up next to me and he started, like, headbutting my back while I was putting boxes together. And then he sat on the couch and just watched me put boxes together, and he just, like, had this kind of, like, sad look to his face. Like, he knew something was up. And sometimes he sits in front of the door and he's waiting for Zelda to come back, but I don't know. I don't cry very much, but I definitely it was pretty emotional that he did that. So no, Zelda died. She wasn't put to sleep. She died on the way to the vet. Do I really think the onion is what killed her? Yes. Because Zelda had think of it this way. Zelda had no pre-existing conditions. Out of most Russian blues, Russian blue breed, they die from heart attacks. Okay? Liver disease, stomach issues are very rare in Russian blues. Especially Russian blues that are mixed. Zelda was half Siamese, half Russian blue. She was given a clean bill of health her entire life until she ate the onion. She ate the onion in 2021. Was rushed to the ER, and they said they couldn't save her. By the grace of God, somehow she pulled through. And they gave her care, and they did surgery, and she survived. But after she survived the surgery, a year later, she started throwing up a lot. So in 2023 or 2022, the year before we got Link, Zelda started to throw up a lot, and her stomach started to expand. Like she started to have it's a medical condition where you have air trapped in your stomach, and you have to, get that liquid out of your stomach or whatever to make the expansion go away. So she had to go to the vet sometimes, and they'd have to do something to her tummy to drain it. because it was like unnatural bloating. So the vet and I believe that the consumption of the onion, which is, it's a death sentence for a cat. What it did is it messed up her, you know, her organs, and she never recovered. So because she survived, it made it very easy for her to get cancer and some other stuff, because again, she had no stomach related things. She was given, we were told that Zelda would live to be like 15 or 16 years old. She was going to be a very healthy cat. She didn't have the rare heart disease that most Russian blues are born with a heart disease. That's a ticking time bomb. That's what killed Tink. Tink was a full Russian blue. She died of premature heart failure. Nothing anybody could do. It's just what happens to a lot of Russian blues. When they're around 10 or 6 years old, they just drop dead because of heart attacks. It's a problem. Zelda was perfectly fine, but she was an idiot. Zelda would eat things off the floor all the time. And Amber loves onions. This is the one thing I don't like about my wife. My wife loves onions. Onions and cats don't mix. You would think after Zelda ate the onion by accident that was on the floor from when Amber was cooking, that Amber would stop using onions. Like, but she doesn't. She's more careful, but she still uses onions in everything that she eats. I don't know if it's a Scandinavian thing or what, but she just, you know, onions, basil, whatever. She keeps using onions. So, Link is much smarter than Zelda. When something fell on the floor, he sniffs it and he doesn't eat it. Link eats paper, though. Why does Link eat paper? I don't know. Link eats paper, so he's dumb that way. But if something is dangerous, he sniffs it. Like Amber was making something with onion about 2 weeks ago. Link was in the kitchen. Link walked up, and he smelled the onion, and he had like this kind of like look on his face, like, no, I don't want this. This is bad. This smells sus. I'm not doing this. And you know, he didn't eat it because he could tell. Zelda was stupid, and Zelda would eat what was ever on the floor. I don't know why she did that, but that was a character flaw for her. Link is much smarter in that sense that he does not eat things that smell off to him. He avoids it. He doesn't like the smell of lemons. He doesn't like the smell of onions. And he doesn't like the smell of chocolate. Like, all those, those three things are very deadly to cats. So I don't have to worry about him, you know, eating something off the floor that's going to make him sick and kill him. You know, because he's pretty smart. But Link does other things that I don't like. But anyway, so when Zelda ate the onion, it was like a slow process of her body was basically dying on the inside. Made her very susceptible to diseases. She had digestive problems. And the digestive problems turned into bathroom problems. By 2023... Zelda, once Link came into the house by like I'd say fall of 2023, that's when she started to make a mess in the basement. And she was trying to put the blame on Link. Because the reason why we thought it was Link is because the size of her stool was too big. And Link is a big boy, right? So common sense would tell you, okay, the culprit, because we've never seen Zelda make that big of a mess before, the culprit is Link, because Link is a big cat. Of course, he's like the size of a small dog. So you would think, okay, Link is the one that's making these messes. He just moved here, it makes sense. No, it was Zelda the whole time. And she put the blame on Link. Okay. Can you do your ultimate tomorrow, Naomi, or can you do it on hang on one second. Yeah, I've purposely not packed your game, Naomi. Like your Your Scooby-Doo game is not packed. Okay, I have Friday and Saturday open. If you would like those. I have Wednesday and Thursday are booked. Yeah, Amber's gonna be doing the late night stream tonight. She slept. She's gonna play Pokepia or something. But yeah, that's the difference. Like with Link, we don't have to worry about him eating something because he's different than Zelda. Zelda would eat whatever's on the floor.
Are you ready?
So we don't have to worry about him like eating or drinking something that's gonna hurt him.
Final
But
round. Get ready.
Link has a I believe they said he has his own problems. He has problems with his mouth and his jaw, which could lead to lockjaw and some other problems down the road as he ages. Like his jaw could like hang open, or he might not be able to open it because Link has a problem with tooth decay. He has a problem with his teeth, and his teeth are too expensive to repair. They're like thousands and thousands of dollars. Like we would have to open a GoFundMe page to fund Link's surgery for his mouth because we can't afford it. When we got him, it was going to be $2,000. His surgery now is $5,000 to fix his teeth. So what we do for Linky is Linky eats food from the vet that helps with tooth enamel and other things. So it's not like regular cat food, but at the same time, Linky doesn't eat a lot of it. Like, so when we leave food out for Link will eat his cat food over the course of 12 hours. Because, you know, he has problems eating. So we leave his food out and he'll eat it. What Zelda used to do is Zelda was eating his food too, which was not good.
Get ready.
But Link is in, besides his teeth, he's in great shape. She said Friday? Okay. Yeah, I'll leave Friday open. I mean, I'm always live streaming. Yeah, if you want to sleep more, Amber, if you want to get something to eat. I haven't hit 1,000 views yet. I want to get 1,000 views. I'm at 4 hours and 39 minutes. I've got 100 views to go before I get 1,000. Okay. But yeah, that's what happened with Zell, is Zell, if her stomach hadn't got messed up from that onion, she wouldn't have gotten the stomach disease that wasn't in her breed. You have to understand, like, your DNA is very important because it tells you what you're going to struggle with. Like, my family has heart disease and, like, heart disease and lung problems for illnesses. Like, that's what runs in my family DNA. For Zelda, she did not get the dreaded heart disease that Russian blues get. Can Link eat his food? Yeah, he eats his crunchies. It's a special type of crunchies. It's for his teeth. And it's not as expensive. Let me put it to you this way. Link's crunchies that we get at the pet store are like maybe $10, and he seems to be able to eat it okay, and he also likes soft food, so he gets soft food every once in a while. The crunchies that he eats, it's a special type of stuff that's supposed to help with his teeth. Because we can't do the surgery because we can't afford it. Like, we'd have to do a GoFundMe or something like that. We've never been able to afford it. And the vet's always looking at his teeth and things like that. He's healthy every other thing. Like, he's fine. He just had... The reason why he doesn't meow very much is because his teeth hurts. He's like me. My teeth are in bad shape. And I can't afford to get them fixed. So I just brush my teeth. I eat a lot of garlic. And things like that. Garlic helps with pain relief. My teeth have been messed up for 10 years. I can't afford it. I don't know what that is. So me and Link are kind of kindred spirits here.
Let's fight.
Final round. Get ready. Fight.
Hi Naomi. We move on May 2nd.
Hey.
Wait.
I don't... How did I recover from wisdom tooth surgery? I had a hole in my mouth for a while. I had my wisdom teeth out in 2014. Or 2013. Right around the time that, I'm trying to remember what game came out. I had a wisdom tooth and another... I haven't had that many wisdom teeth out because I was born with more teeth than I was supposed to have. So I've had lots of teeth pulled in my life. A human is born with a certain amount of teeth, and then you can have your wisdom teeth removed. I was born with 6 more additional teeth than I was supposed to have. And over the course of my life, up until I was 33... No, not 33. Yeah. Between 27 and 33, I had the extra teeth extracted. There was complications with one tooth being removed, and I had to have... Painkillers don't work for me, so I was in agony. I watched a lot of anime. I wasn't a daily streamer back then. And we had pre-recorded videos for... Because Amber and I used to record in bulk. So none of you guys knew when I was sick or when I was in the hospital back in the day. Because we recorded in bulk and released episodes once a day. And when a series finished, then another series would go up. Like, we recorded so many videos that if I lost my voice or anything like that, you would never know. Because, you know, and I was in and out of the hospital because I was sick from a lot of stuff. But, we had pre-recorded content, always. Hey, buddy. How's my buddy doing? How did I recover from having teeth pulled? A lot of sleeping. I almost accidentally swallowed the gauze that was in my mouth. Because I had to be biting down on gauze all the time. I had to bite down on gauze for like 4 days. Because the hole wasn't healing. Eating food was annoying. I don't even remember how I think I drank a lot of Ensure and like dietary like replacement stuff. Because I couldn't eat solid food because my jaw hurt so much. But 2013 was the year that a lot of stuff happened for our channel, and my dad's mom passed away. So my grandmother on my dad's side passed away in 2013, right before Christmas of 2013. Like the very first the very first Christmas with the Kwings is when my grandma died. The first Christmas with the Kwings, the very first episode, we were in Peekskill, New York for her burial. And we were hanging out at my mom's parents' house. In the house that I grew up in. So the very, like, in order to, because my wife was very close with my dad's mom. So, in order to like, spruce up Amber's, spirits, is I told her that my grandparents used to film Christmases with an old video camera. And she was like, what? It was like, yeah, people did home movies. I was like, what if we did a home movie for Christmas and we, like, posted it online for our fans? And I told her content was content. So the very first Christmas with the Kwings was done to kind of cheer up my wife and for me to act like a goofball. And it was a very sad time because the funeral was, like, I think the day after we filmed. I don't remember. But it seemed to do the trick because Amber wasn't as sad. My dad's mom loved Amber. My grandmother was very religious, like my wife. My wife had like kind of a kindred spirit in my grandma. And coincidentally, we found out years later that my dad's mom was actually from Pennsylvania. She was from this area of Pennsylvania. Like Dutch, Pennsylvania Dutch land or whatever. So, you know, my grandma was a very godly woman. But she and I didn't get along very much because she didn't like anything I did. She didn't like that I was a YouTuber. She didn't like that I had a game playing video. She didn't like that my job revolved around playing video games. But you know, I miss her. She was a very wise woman. And my Portuguese grandma, obviously you can tell the differences. My Christian grandmother did not spoil me rotten, and I was always in trouble. And you know, my ADD got me in trouble a lot with my grandma. And my mom's mom. Well, I was like the baby to her, even though I was the eldest. So, my grandma, my mother's mom, like, spoiled me rotten as a kid and, you know, gave me lots of love and attention. And for my dad's mom, well, I was like the 7th grandson to her or something. She had, like, tons of grandkids. So I was like the 4th oldest or something like that. And she didn't put up with any of my shenanigans. And also, she didn't believe I had, like, ADD or dyslexia. So she was one of those grandparents. So you can only imagine in the 80s and 90s interacting with a lady like that.
Stronger by the day.
She didn't believe in any of that stuff. She called it nonsense. She used to say things like God wouldn't create that kind of stuff, and you know, I disagreed with her because I was a poster child for ADD. But you know, as I grew older, my grandma became very sensible, and you know.
Are you ready?
We never saw eye to eye on anything though, but I loved her a lot. She was a very strict woman, but she was a very kind woman.
Get ready. Fight.
And also, both my grandmothers really, really liked Amber. And they, like, she never brought up that we were too young to get married. She never She didn't do anything to stand in our way. She was very supportive. Because you have to remember, Amber and I got married very young.
Round 2. Get ready.
Like, most people today get married in their mid-30s. Amber and I got married in our early 20s.
Perfect day. Mary wins. Round
Which faced
3.
some opposition
Get ready.
when we were younger.
Fight.
But never from my grandparents. And I was blessed to have 3 grandparents for a very long time. My dad's mom passed away 2013. Then we lost my grandpa, my Portuguese grandma's husband, my grandfather, who was from Ireland. He passed away in 2018. And then my grandma, my Portuguese grandma, lived to be 100 years old. She passed away in 2024. I think. It was either 2024 or 2025. January of 2025, I think. But I don't know. I don't remember. I was very broken up about it. But the only problem with when Grandma went is you have to understand that when Amber and I lived so far away, family members were always calling us from either the Portuguese side of the family or my dad and mom were calling and saying, this is it. It's time to say goodbye now. You know, talk to Grandma. It's the last time you're going to talk to her. So I talked to my grandma on her deathbed like 9 times over the course of 4 or 5 years. And the first time it was very hard because I really thought she was going to die. I was in tears. The second time I was having a panic attack because I was like, oh my gosh, it's happening. Then she survived. The third time I was kind of like, oh, I'm so sorry, Grandma. It's like I can't even express the words that I want to say to you because I love you so much. And she survived and got better. And then she was in the hospital again. And, you know, it went on like 9 or 10 times. And then finally, in, you know, the day of her 100th birthday, she passed away. And she was talking to me on the phone, and, you know, she was at peace. We weren't there, but we saw her, we saw her 3 months before she passed. And, you know, she told us everything she wanted to tell us. And, but I kind of wish that my family members, because, I mean, she was very sick. She was very close with my grandpa. And when my grandpa left, all my grandma did was watch home movies of my grandfather, which I don't think was very good for her. But that's all she would do, is she would watch old VHS tapes. And I kind of enabled that because she asked me to make DVDs of these old VHS tapes from the 80s. So, because she said the video quality was getting bad. So I you know, I did what my grandma wanted, and I made DVD quality of the VHS tapes, and I gave it to her, and she would watch the DVDs to death, and the quality wouldn't suffer, and, you know, but that's all she would do. Like, she just kept watching home movies of my grandpa, like, the rest of her life. And she was always sad and always talking about him, so I don't know if I necessarily would have gone and done that and made her the DVD. I don't know if it really made her happy or made her sad. You know? But you never know what the right thing to do is. But it was hard for Amber and I because, you know, when people kept telling us this is it, we prepared for the worst, and then she recovered, which was wonderful. But it's like I don't know how to explain it. When you go through so many, like a tug-of-war of emotions, when she died, I didn't cry. I didn't express any emotion because I felt like I had already gone through it so many years ago. Like, she was very, very sick during the pandemic. Like, my grandma got COVID. And she was elderly, and that was a death sentence, you know? She survived. But she was in very bad shape after COVID.
Round 2. Get ready.
So, like, I was on the phone with her when she was in the hospital with COVID, and she couldn't talk. Like, she couldn't talk. She had no strength. So I felt like I exhausted all my emotions back then. And when it finally came to it, maybe I sound heartless, but I just didn't have anything in the tank anymore. Just kind of like I was dull to it. Because I think selfishly part of me thought, oh, she's just going to get better again. I'll be able to talk to her soon because she's just going to get better. She got better last time. All the other times she got better. So, you know. And of course I was wrong, so... yeah, sorry. I trail off sometimes. The longer I stream, the more things I talk about. Once I've been streaming for like 5 hours, I go into different territory with things. My bad. I feel very few emotions. Yeah. Yeah, my grandfather was the same age as Adam West when he died, yep. Yep. That one hurt because it was so sudden and I couldn't get down there. And that was the same. Yeah, that was the same year we lost the baby too. 2018 was a very bad year. Yep. I don't know. I don't. I've been told by many family members I don't really have proper emotions. That's always been a problem. I got hurt a lot as a kid. I can tell you what happened to my emotions, but it's dark. I got hurt really bad as a kid. And I used to be a normal kid. My injury was so severe that I became, outside of my heart attack, like, I became dull to pain. Like, my injury was so bad, breaking my arms and having the bones stick out of my arms, and, like, having compound and hairline fractures on the bone of both my arms, that I was in a state of shock that the most I've ever cried in my life is when I broke my arms.
Get ready. Fight.
And by the time I got to the hospital, I had no tears left. I was dehydrated. And ever since then, when I had my car accident, I didn't cry or show any emotion. I felt pain. But when the paramedics arrived, they didn't properly look at me because they said, and I quote, "The other driver is completely calm and looks fine, so we're going to check on the other driver." Even though I had internal injuries, my facial expression was normal. Like, I did not have the face of someone who had just survived a near-death car accident. I was on adrenaline, but I didn't look like I was in pain. Because no pain, I would even argue with somebody, the heart attack that I had was nowhere near as painful as when I broke my arms at like 8 years old. Because remember, I literally had bones sticking out of flesh. Hairline and compound fractures. My wrist was bent backwards. Yeah, I looked like a cartoon character. And the months that I was in recovery for that was agonizing. I looked like a pharaoh or a mummy for like 6 months. I had to learn to play video games cross-handed. So my tolerance for pain is not normal. But, I mean, it still doesn't feel like I have emotions. I used up all my emotions when I was 8 years old.
Final round.
You were Doomsday from DC Comics? I guess so. But because I was dull to pain, that's why I could spar with people longer when I took martial arts. Like, 3 years after I broke my arms, I took martial arts. That's why when that guy kicked me in the spine when I was being snarky, it didn't hurt me as much as he thought it did, and I stood up after getting, like, you know, hit by an adult. Like, I got hit right in the middle of my spine by a front kick from a actual grown adult when I was like 12 or 13. And, you know, my body wasn't fully... I wasn't an adult yet myself. So, you know, I took the hit. And then to the surprise of my teacher, my sensei, I stood up. And even the guy who hit me, he was like... What? That's why my teacher took him out, though. Like, well, you know, the Vietnam guy is... My teacher was so impressed that I stood up after getting a hit like that, because that dude hit me as hard as he could. Because he was mad. You know? I went flying like a cartoon character, but I stood up. And I was just kind of like, ow, that hurt. Now, years later, I definitely felt the pain because it messed up my back, but I didn't know at the time. Because it didn't hurt that bad. Over time, yeah, it hurts more. But when he did it, you know, it probably would have knocked the wind out of me and I would have been crying and all kinds of stuff had I not broken my arms the way that I did. I broke almost every arm and every bone in my arm I broke, according to the doctors. Wrist, femur, whatever. Like, up till almost my shoulder. And one arm was all the way up to my shoulder, just a little bit below my shoulder. Every bone in that arm. And then on the second arm, it went up to my elbow. That's why sometimes you can hear on the microphone, my elbow pops a lot. To this day, even though it's like so many years later, my elbow still will like sometimes get out of I wouldn't say socket, but it pops. Where when I used to do webcam, sometimes you would see me stretch my left arm, like, or not my left arm, my right arm. You would see me like kind of do stuff with my right arm. It's because my right arm gets stuck, and I have to position my arm so that it pops, because it's uncomfortable. It doesn't hurt, it's just uncomfortable. So then I position it so it goes pop, and then I feel better. But I have to straighten my right arm. a lot of times during the day just to get it to, you know. And it makes like a soft popping noise.
Stronger by the day.
Did you just hear it? I just did it now. I do it subconsciously. I went to go grab my drink and it just went pop, pop. It's second nature to me. I don't do it on purpose. It just like it's like, oh, that's kind of annoying, and then it just goes pop. It doesn't hurt, but I just have to do it. Well, I mean, you can. I didn't regrow my bone. I was in a cast for all of summer. And my second cast was like the one that had the most damage done. My left arm. Actually, no, not my left arm. My right arm had the most damage done. My first cast came off. The injury happened in May of 88. It was either 88 or 90. I don't remember. I had an NES. So the only years that it could have happened would be between 1986 and 1990, because 1991 was the year of the Super Nintendo. So I would have been playing the Super Nintendo, and I did not play the Super Nintendo in like cast. Some of the games I remember playing with my cast was Castlevania 3, Batman Return of the Joker, or no, I think it was Batman, the Batman NES game, the first one. One of the Ninja Gaidens, it might have been Ninja Gaiden 2. So if it was Ninja Gaiden 2, it would be 1990. And I only lived in Michigan from 1988 until 1990. So it happened when I was living in Michigan. Oh. Oh. No, I don't have a healing factor. What I'm saying is your bones, everything heals over time. Your body, it doesn't have a healing factor, but it naturally you can heal. How do you think people get better from being sick? Your body, your body is a miraculous machine that to a certain point it heals you. It repairs itself. It just, the process takes a very long time. What's great about Wolverine's mutant healing factor is the process is sped up. Like 2 times speed or 4 times speed. Normal healing. But as I was trying to tell you, I was in a cast for 6 months. And near the end of summer, my cast on my left arm came off. And then I didn't have to be the Pharaoh anymore. Because I had to be... they said I had to be cross-armed for like several months because of how bad the damage was to my bones. Otherwise, I would develop like really bad bone disease or something like that. Really bad disease in my arms. So I had to walk around like the Pharaoh for all the summer. Because the doctors then said the bones have to be crossed because they were crossed somehow when I broke them.
Round 1.
Because, like, I was... In another universe, I died. Because at the last second, I threw my arms in front of my face, and the impact from the ground shattered my arms instead of my neck. My head did not collide with a death blow the way that it was supposed to because I was falling head first. At the last second, I threw my arms in front of me, and the impact pushed my arms back and broke them in a way that it took all the damage. Like, my arms tanked the fall. It was a miracle. Because I would have died. If my head collided, I would have gone, like, snapped like a wishbone. Because I fell from 2 stories. So survivor instinct is how I live. Basically. Because when you fall, you put your arms in front of you, right? I was scared and I put my arms in front of me at the last second, and my arms saved my life.
Level up.
But anyway, like I said, I've been very dull to pain because of that instant, because I've never in my life felt pain as extreme as that. Like, I didn't even know I was having a heart attack. Like, last July, I felt like a rubber band feeling in my arm, and I was getting really dizzy, and there was a pain in my back, but it wasn't like a pain like when I got kicked in the back, that hurt. So the pain was like kind of this dull thing, and my teeth started to vibrate. Like, it felt like the something in my mouth was like hurting. And I looked at Amber and I was like, we need to go. I think, you know, I popped a Bayer in my mouth and, you know, we went to the hospital. I'm pretty sure. Or maybe she wasn't here and I popped a Bayer in my mouth and I can't remember. I don't remember if I was here or if she was here or if I was... Because I went to the hospital so much over the summer. I might have been alone the first time. I don't know. The other 2 times I went to the hospital that summer, I was not having a heart attack. And I had what's known as a minor heart attack, so I didn't have to have surgery. Like, they got me there and they, you know... I got really lucky. And I think chewing the Bayer saved my life, actually. Because my dad has been telling me, because heart attack runs in my family, to always have a Bayer on hand. So wherever I go, whenever I leave this house, I always have chewable Bayer in my pocket. And so I popped like 3 Bayers in my mouth and, you know, ended up at the hospital. Had I not taken the Bayer, who knows what would have happened. The heart attack probably would have been more severe. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I can't tell you. But I have problems because of that. Like, I have racing heart problems now. I developed, you know, a quickening of the heart or whatever they call it. I don't know. I don't know medical terms. I have problems. And I had a cardiologist for a while. Yeah, I don't know, but I, like, after my heart attack, I wake up in the middle of the night being unable to breathe sometimes. Like, I wake up and my heart rate is like 186, like, beats per minute. I'm super faint, I'm sweating like crazy, and it takes me like a few minutes to get my heart rate down, or sometimes it takes hours. But, so... there were complications to not having a bad heart attack, but I could probably have a bad one at any time. I don't know. The doctors don't know. All the tests that they did over the fall look good, but they can't rule out that I have an electrical problem with my heart. All the other tests were good, but, you know, the ones they're concerned about is when I wake up gasping for air and my heart rate is like, you know, close to 200 or something like that. And let me tell you, anything past 156 is not good. So, you know, your heart is not designed to beat that fast. Your heart beats normally at like 60 beats per minute. So when it's in the 100 range and above, that's not good. You got to get to the hospital. What batsuit am I excited to use? The Keaton batsuit, Gotham by Gaslight, the Ben Affleck batsuit, animated series batsuit, Batman Beyond batsuit. I think that's about it for now.
Let's fight.
Round one. Get ready. Fight. SPG.
You should keep what? They didn't approve me to have anything like that. Because here's the thing, whenever I'm having an episode and I end up in the hospital, like my heart rate drops to acceptable levels. Like when if you're admitted into the hospital and your heart rate is like 180 and over like 3 hours it drops down to 90, they kick you out of the hospital. They're like, okay, he's stable, let's get him out of here. So what they've told me to do is if the paramedics come again, they want me to do an EKG as soon as the paramedics arrive. Because they're trying to find an electrical problem with my heart so that they can help me. Because, you know, it's not... It's good that your heart rate goes down when you're having, like, racing heart. That's very good. But it's not a sign of a heart attack. Or something. I forget what the cardiologist told me. He said it's dangerous, but it's not like high risk or something. So they didn't give me any type of equipment that, you know, people who've had heart attacks usually get. Like, I don't even have any heart monitor. I don't have anything. I had a heart monitor for a while, like for a couple weeks, but I don't anymore. Like, I'm kind of mad at them because if I was wearing it, they would, you know, see these problems happening more and more. Because they don't happen, like, they only really record stuff, like, in a 7 or 8 day period. When it's, like, if I was wearing it all month, they could probably see, like, yeah, it's happening, like, several times a month. But, you know, they don't do it because of insurance reasons and all kinds of things, so. Yeah. Well, I mean, our doctors are useless because insurance ties their hands. Let me tell you guys what the 90s was like, okay? Because you won't believe this. So, life expectancy for people in the 80s and 90s was higher than today. Because when you went to the doctor, they would run every test they could think of to check your blood for cancer, for, you know, heart disease, whatever. You wouldn't just... Today you pay for particular tests, okay? Like, when you go to the doctor, they miss things because they're only testing for certain things. Why? Because if they tested for everything, it'd be too expensive for you, as well as it'd be too expensive for them. So before, they used to put the patient first. And when you would go to the doctor, they would basically test everything to rule out certain types of diseases. So they could catch it early. And then when the insurance companies went crazy with costs and premiums, I think it was like around early 2000s, then more and more people were, you know, getting cancer and getting all this other stuff. And their life expectancy, like, wasn't very good because they're like, well, if we caught it early, when before they would screen you for so many things when you were tested. And the doctor could find out, hey, you know, you came in for this thing, we were checking your blood sugar level, but we found out that, you know, there's something else going on in your blood from this test, And now we need to do another test to rule it out. And, you know, but because of that, you know, wider margins of tests that they used to do, they were able to basically have a safety net and, you know, find stuff more. And they don't do that anymore.
Are you ready?
There are a couple countries that still do that. I believe Pakistan is a country that still has like a, when you go to the doctor, they look for everything to try to find out why you're sick. Japan does it, and Korea,
Stay still.
and I can't remember the other country.
Perfect day. Mary.
UK doesn't, America doesn't, Canada doesn't, Russia does. Well, actually no, I think Russia does.
Fight as people.
Russia wants its citizens to be healthy,
Stay
so
still.
they can draft them for war. So,
Perfect day. Wings.
And bang.
yeah, you have to go to a second opinion now because a doctor might miss something. So it's like, you ever heard the saying like, well, I'll get a second opinion? You didn't have to get a second opinion in the 90s because whatever test you did, like, I'll give you an example. When I broke my arms, they ran so many tests to make sure that I didn't have any type of infection that was in my blood because the infection could have killed me. And so they checked so many different things when I was in the hospital to get my arms reset and my bones set and stuff like that. Because they had to set the bone and stuff. And I was already in shock, so I don't even remember them doing it. Like, I felt nothing when I was completely conscious when they reset my bones. I was talking to my dad, and I had tears streaming down my face, but I didn't feel a thing until I got home. And then it was like, I think all the Tylenol that I took as a kid is why I'm immune to Tylenol now, because painkillers don't work for me. And I have migraines and stuff, so, you know, painkillers would be great. They don't work. Tylenol doesn't work. Advil doesn't work. It never, ever, ever, if I'm in pain, it never removes the pain. That's the downside to what happened to me, is, like, my arms were so messed up and I was put on so many painkillers that painkillers don't work for me. Which sucks, because when I'm really hurting and it's like, oh man, I want to take the edge off this, it doesn't work. So my migraines, the only thing I can do is sleep. I have to sleep in a dark room with a cold compress. That's the only relief I get. And I don't get relief. If you've ever had a migraine, you know how painful those things are. Imagine no medicine helps with that. That's me. So that was a downside. But anyway, when I was in the hospital to have the, you know, the arm stuff done, they checked for a lot of, like, possible things that could go wrong. And every test they did, it came back negative, which was great. But nowadays, imagine your kid goes through a horrific accident where they break their arms or legs. And the doctor only checks for, like, what they can see on the surface. And your child develops, like, blood clots or some type of, like, you know, blood-related illness from infection that they could have found if they checked everything because, you know, they weren't trying to run your insurance. Your kid wouldn't be suffering the way they are now, you know, because they caught it early and they took care of it and they gave you the medicine for it or whatever. So we have better health care than some other countries, but because of insurance and state insurance, they don't do what they used to do. And if you do get checked for everything, you have to pay an insane amount to get the test done.
Is that your best?
So I was very lucky that I was born in the 90s, or the 80s. Pretty much.
Don't waste my time.
Ow. Oh dang, this guy's
Just a scratch.
mopping the floor with me. Whoops. Yikes. How am I gonna beat this guy within the time limit? There's no way. Dude!
You expected any different?
Well, I mean, the thing is, if you give your kids too many painkillers, like, they'll develop an immunity to it. I mean, you know, my parents, young married couple, their child broke their arm so badly, they're wailing in pain. What are you going to do? You know, the doctors... I was taking adult Advil or something. Like, they prescribed... I don't know what it was, but it was something pretty intense. And then because of that, as I got older, I noticed that painkillers, only thing that works is ibuprofen. But that's like if I'm having an allergic reaction. It doesn't help like with pain or anything.
Don't waste my time.
Pain relief. There's no such thing as pain relief for me. I don't get that. Which sucks. Amber's like, oh, I have a headache. I'm gonna take Advil. I'll joke around with her and be like, you know, you could, if you want to walk a day in my shoes, you could, like, go to bed without the Advil. And she's like, what? She's like, yeah, if you want to know what it's like being me, and you're in pain, you can just suffer through your headache. And she's like, I already took the Advil, and it's like, ah. So it's like, if anybody wants to walk a mile in my shoes, the next time you have a painful headache, don't take Advil. And just suffer through it. And then you and I will be like blood brothers because that's what I have to do. Medicine does not work for me.
7, 6, 5,
Nuts!
2,
Yeah.
1, 0.
I lost. Wait, what? Why'd I win? Why'd I win? Explain why I won. I don't know why I won. Alright, well I had fun with this. I'm gonna set up Amber's stream. Playing as Blue Mary was kind of fun, so we're gonna set up Amber's stream and call it, because I need to get something to eat. I haven't eaten anything yet. Been very I had that weird burger today. That's the only thing I've eaten. Because, you know, I haven't, I guess I'm sad in my own way about Zelda, but I just haven't really done much today. I was gonna pack and stuff like that. I haven't even packed anything today, so I'm behind by packing. So, you know, people deal with things in their own way, I guess. I don't know. She wants to do Pokopia, so I don't have a thumbnail for it, though. She can make her thumbnail. Let's see if I can mess around with this. I just have it set up as Pokeek. She can make a better thumbnail. And she probably will. Ah. It's nice having Amber home. It's really nice. Don't tell her I said that, though. When Amber was working the past, like, 6 or 7 months, my health deteriorated a lot because I was doing so much work on the channel and I wasn't able to sleep or anything. So with Amber back being full-time, even though it's temporary, like, I'm getting more sleep, I'm more relaxed, I'm not as tense. Like, have you guys noticed a difference in the stream since Amber's been back? Like, I don't sound as anxious, I don't, you know, I don't push myself as hard as I did, you know, when it was just me running the channel. So, having Amber back has been a huge blessing. So I actually get sleep and I get to eat more. And I'm gonna go eat now. So next up is the Pokapia stream. I'm a lot more calmer now. Yeah, a little bit. Tell her you love her? I tell her I love her every day. I give her... My love language for my wife is hugs. I hug my wife every day. I squeeze her little body with my big body. Because I'm 6'4", she's 5'2". And I hug her, I pull her up on her tiptoes. Because she's a tiny little thing. I love hugging her. I definitely have more energy. Yeah, it feels like it. Yeah. Was that Game Wing?
Do you like motorcycles?
Game Wing,
If
is
so,
that you?
Could ride double with me sometime.
Was that really Game Wing? That's a wonderful feeling. Well, yeah, I'm a hopeless romantic. But yeah, anyway, Amber has the next tour of duty, so make sure you guys support her Pokapia stream because she loves that game. She took over that series full time, so. Alright, guys, have a wonderful night, and your next host is coming up. God bless, happy gaming. Also, thank you to the people who did Super Chats tonight. I'm still a little out of it because of little Zelda. I'm so used to hearing her meow all the time, and now there's no meows. So that's kind of hard, you know. Thank you to Nightwing for upgrading. Thank you to the Dark Knight for becoming a member. Thank you to Braden for becoming a member. Thank you to Max for the Super Chat. Thank you for Daffy for the Super Chat. Thank you to Naomi for the Super Chat, and Daffy again. Alright, guys. I'll see you tomorrow with Lego Batman and some other stuff, and Amber will see you in just a few minutes.
How about a drink?
God bless, happy gaming.
Love a